As soon as the first rumbles of thunder rolled through, folks in Fluvanna County knew what would come next.
The winds were crossing Route 15. The rains were crossing Route 15. My wife told me, don't come in the yard because of the down power lines.
Many saw the same thing as Garnet Kennedy, down trees and no power.
Yeah, it was quite a different scene.
Causing Fluvanna fire stations
Our brush truck is in Fork Union
to pretty much drive everywhere.
Our second engine is on Covered Bridge Road near the Goochland County line, and our engine tanker and our chief's buggy are here at this possible house fire.
And those in Kent's store saw more than most today.
And we had significant straight line winds, actually moving a sign that we have out front that takes 5 or 6 strong men to move. They flipped it over through a field, and we saw the funnel cloud moving towards Goochland County.
Which is why county officials want residents to pay attention to this.
To take shelter immediately when there is a warning, because it's bad out there.
Cheryl says the biggest misconception is that people take their time to prepare, like a blizzard. Cheryl says when the warning is issued, act immediately.
Stay away from windows and just kind of weather it out, because these storms aren't going to last hours and hours like a snowstorm. They're going to be short, and then we'll deal with the aftermath.
Aftermath like flooding, fog, and power outages, which led to the local Board of Supervisor meeting running on a generator. And for those worried about family members without power, Cheryl says police are happy to help.
But if you can't get through, always call the non-emergency number at the sheriff's office, because we can have deputies check on people, we can make phone calls.
And speaking to crews around the area tonight, Dominion and VDOT are both out here working hard to try and restore power, as well as clean up all the roads that are dealing with the downed power lines and trees. There is still no time frame on when people who have their power out will get it back. Reporting out in Fluvanna County, Taylor Cairns, CBS 19 News. Most would describe the town of Mineral as
a small, quaint town.
Great place to live, raise a family. I've loved it. I've been here for about 11 years, and it's been just a fantastic place to serve and be at.
And despite the town being only a couple blocks long, it's not hard to miss the scars of what happened 6 months ago.
Someone has said that the school had caught fire.
The historic elementary school in town erupted in flames and took firefighters a long time to contain.
And it kind of all took us off guard.
I think it had a lot of character. It's been here, talking to some of the locals. I mean, they went to school there.
And all these months later, much of the debris still remains, which has locals fired up. And the problem that most have with this site isn't the fact that nothing's been rebuilt, it's the fact that there are still remnants of the old building. And we're not just talking about bricks, we're actually talking about full school books with pages that are still readable.
It should be cleaned up and or put a wall up so, somebody doesn't get over there and get stuck with a piece of glass, or, they'd be throwing rocks at each other. You know how kids are.
And the town council tried to make that happen, giving the landowner of the private property 90 days to remove debris. It's now been over 100 days and the trash remains.
But I think the process needs to go ahead and move forward, whatever that is. But cleanup needs to happen.
And with the lot being right next to a Little League baseball field, many think the time to act is now.
Now that it's burnt down, it's, like we talked before, there'll be a lot of kids here, brothers playing baseball, and that's a magnet. I mean, they'll be over there picking glass, and I think it's definitely a good idea to put the fence up.
Kenny Morris is described as a family man, a good man, and is definitely a Virginian. And this Thanksgiving, his family, both by relation and by oath, made sure they brought him home for the holidays one last time.
He was just a good person. He cared about everybody. I mean, everybody. He didn't know a stranger.
Sergeant Kenny Morris was an Albemarle County resident.
Loved people, loved playing around and goofing off, and loved his family.
Love for his relatives and his military family.
When he passed, a lot of service members reached out to me on his behalf, just speaking about how good of a person he was. He was always the funny guy. He was there to help whenever he needed to.
In fact, many at his funeral didn't even know him.
Not too many here was actually that known Sergeant Kenny Morris, but in the Army, we consider everybody a family. So the day he raised his right hand for that oath, he became a brother.
Which is why Kenny's family didn't mourn alone. Something that is especially meaningful to the family.
My brother battled with depression
and he took his.
Her brother battled with depression and took his own life, and very difficult to deal with.
Some people just don't understand. Depression is serious.
You don't always tell somebody what's going on, and it's kind of hard for someone else to know what's going on.
Kenny committed suicide while stationed in South Korea, and his family hopes to use his story to help others like him.
And when someone mentions suicide, I think family and friends need to take it seriously and not sweep it under the rug or not ignore it.
As much as we are soldiers, we are human beings. And like I said, it's a tragic event for a loss.
I think that mental illness is serious, you know. I didn't see the signs. Maybe had we, there could have been a different story, you know.
And even though it's not how they expected it, Kenny is home for Thanksgiving.
I think it's probably safe to say he was there just with the rest of the family. Yeah, he loved family.
That was
loved being
important
around
to
family.
him.
Family time was important to him.
Now, for those interested in learning how to help service members who suffer from depression, you can find ways to contribute on newsplex.com. Reporting in the studio, Taylor Cairns, 19 News Nightcast. Halloween may be over, but what happened on Halloween isn't over, and that's because the sales of masks exactly like this one may indicate something for the upcoming election. Take a look.
Found everything all right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're here at the Party Starts Here, and we just got finished with a pretty big season of Halloween. It's a cool feeling to see, the different people coming in, getting their costumes, putting them together, and kind of just making it their own.
And this year, many costumes involved presidential candidates.
We get a fair share of, people wanting to pair Hillary Clinton masks with, prison jumpsuits.
And surprisingly, multiple national Halloween stores like Spirit Halloween and Buy Costumes say that the rubber mask that sells the most has won the presidency.
Me personally, I've noticed in the last 3 elections that I would agree with that, and then if that trend continues, then I would probably assume we'll see Donald Trump as the next president, because we're selling probably 3-1 Trump over Hillary.
And to find out just what Charlottesville thinks of this crazy trend, well, we're here on the downtown mall to talk to people about these masks, and I'm going to be playing the role Donald Trump. My intern Monica here, well, she's going to be Hillary Clinton.
I think it's an accurate trend. I mean, if it's something that's been working for the past 40 years,
Oh, wow, really?
then I believe in it.
I thought this election was crazy, but now I really know it's crazy.
Even longtime Hillary supporter Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe had something to say.
Yeah, that really doesn't make a lot of sense, because I think, honestly, you want to have a scary mask for Halloween? That's Donald Trump. I don't think that has anything to do with the presidential election.
But some say Trump could be selling more for comedic reasons.
Everybody's buying Trump masks, God knows why, but we're going to break the trend.
I'm terrified.
Oh, no, I think it's just because he's so scary that for Halloween, you want to frighten people, you wear a Donald Trump mask.
They're so creepy.
Regardless of the outcome,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Party Starts Here says they're going to continue to sell them.
And, if the trend continues, then we'll go with it.
In Charlottesville, Taylor Cairns, CBS 19 News.